Hi, Alex.
Hi,
Hi,
Ali. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Do you mind explaining a bit more about the power of attorney? So, what actually is a power of attorney?
Okay, a power of attorney is a document that is normally signed before a notary in favor of someone to carry out certain powers for that person or certain faculties. So, for example, when clients instruct us to say buy a property, we would put a power of attorney in place in order to open a bank account for them, sign the purchase contract, sign the deed of purchase for them in Spain, and maybe sign an insurance contract as well.
Can you actually buy a Spanish property then without a power of attorney, or do you have to have one?
You can buy a Spanish property without a power of attorney. However, that means that you'll be a lot more involved in the process and you'll have to come to Spain. So, for example, so that the power of attorney makes it much easier. It makes the process smoother. But if you didn't, then you'd have to come out, apply for your NIs in person at the police station. You'd have to sign the contract. You'd have to come out for completion. If you had a mortgage, you'd have to come to the bank and sign the mortgage paperwork a day before completion. So it just the power of attorney just makes it much easier and helps the process flow when buying a Spanish property. And also after completion, we normally put in place direct debits for water, electric, and town hall rates, and they ask for the power of attorney, and we submit that with the direct debit mandates. So as I said, it makes it much easier. You know, if you didn't want your lawyer or us to deal with the transfer of the utilities after completion, then you'd have to do that yourself.
Okay, no, that explains it very well. But what happens after? Can I just say it's only for that purchase, or does it continue off into time?
Okay, so let's just right. This is a power of attorney just to act in Spain, normally in a purchase process, right? And you can limit it in time, and you can limit it to a property, a certain property. I wouldn't recommend limiting it to a property because we do have clients that have done that in the past, and then for whatever reason they've decided not to buy that property, and you need a new power of attorney, so you've got to go through the process again. But you can limit it in time. So you can say, for example, after X amount of years or X amount of months, that power of attorney will automatically come to an end. Otherwise, what you could also do is you can revoke the power of attorney. So you end the power of attorney by going back to a notary and signing a deed of revocation of that power of attorney.
Okay, and hopefully by that time you're already living in Spain anyway, so that makes it easier. I think you just said then that it's only for Spain, is that correct? So it only covers this process in Spain.
Yeah, so the general power, we would generally put a general power of attorney in place, and that allows us to buy a property in Spain, open a bank account, pay taxes, etc. And then there are other types of powers of attorney which you can give to loved ones, for example, to um, manage your affairs, make important medical decisions. But that's separate. That's a separate power of attorney. What we're talking about today is the power of attorney to buy, sell, or maybe even inherit a property.
Okay. And how can I actually end the power of attorney? So how can I finish the whole process?
So basically, it's the power of attorney is signed before a notary, either in your home country or in Spain when you're over. It's normally cheaper to sign it in Spain. The notaries typically need about 48 hours notice here in Spain for you to kind of go along and book an appointment. Obviously, sometimes shorter periods. But basically, you go along and sign the power of attorney, and then that's granted. And the revocation, the ending of the power of attorney is the same process. You go back to the notary and you say, look, I gave this power of attorney on X date to X people, please revoke it. And you sign that revocation, and the notary would then revoke that power of attorney and send revocation, notice of the revocation to the lawyers that it was granted to. And you can also send an email to the lawyers too. You can say, look, I don't want you to use that power of attorney anymore. I revoke it. And they should delete it from their system. What we normally do is when a purchase has been completed and the property registered in the owner's names, we return the deeds to the client with the original power of attorney, because you can only really sign for to carry out tasks in Spain with the original power of attorney. So if I go to a notary to buy a house for someone, the notary will ask for the original power of attorney. If I haven't got it, they won't allow me to sign it. Equally, the same for a sale of a property or an inheritance, or if I go to a bank and want to do a bank transfer to say to the seller, for example, the bank will ask for the original power of attorney.
Okay. And how can I ask my lawyer in Spain to issue a power of attorney or apply for a power of attorney for me?
So basically, we've got a fantastic section online where you can buy your power of attorney, buy a power of attorney to give a power of attorney to someone else, or you can go online. If you're just at the beginning of your buying process, you can go online and we will send you the power of attorney in English and Spanish. You sign that before a notary, and then when we receive it back, stamped with the apostille of The Hague, we will then apply for your NI. And what's really important here is I would only say that you give a power of attorney to lawyers. So don't give them to a gestoria or someone who hasn't confirmed terms of business in writing to you, their costs, and that confirmation that they've got liability insurance in place. So, for example, all the lawyers in the office have got liability insurance, and the law firm, my law in Spain, SLP, has got liability insurance in place as well. So if we misused that power of attorney, then you can claim against the individual lawyer and the law firm. But if you gave that power of attorney, say, to an estate agent or to a friend or someone you've met in the pub, there's no comeback against them, okay, if they misuse that power of attorney.
Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.